abreast with happenings in the polity.
I am an employer of the president. I pay the president's salary. I pay the bills of his family, and he must protect me.
All the resources available in this country has to come together at this time to see how best we can move forward. The interest of Nigeria is paramount.
Standpoint.
Standpoint, the center of all talks of politics.
Standpoint, Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. on Rapid 96.5 FM.
No Nigerian is more Nigerian than any Nigerian.
That's right.
And then that song says, how long shall we keep talking about the promised land? Certainly, I want to let you know there is light at the end. There's light at the end of the tunnel. That's just the truth of the matter. But given the current situation and the reality we are living with as Nigerians in this country, I would say this morning, why not borrow from somewhere the technique of affirmation to put your consciousness and your subconsciousness within the mindset or mind frame of new thoughts, new images, new pictures, new things. And then let's see how it will turn at the end of the day. Yes, this time could make one to do the negative in the society. It's very possible that out of frustration, depression and what have you, people can go the other way around, negatively in the society. But we are still saying from this angle that you can still scale through. You can still surmount the situation. So hold up and then let us expect the best at the end of the day. Very good morning to you and welcome to Standpoint, the center of all talks of politics. My name is Moses Ben. I'm being joined this morning by my colleague, in-house analyst, Incorruptible Sam. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Yeah, good morning to you, Ben Moses. And this is midweek, actually, Wednesday. And in our various churches, I believe, we'll be having some midweek services. And we also encourage the people to keep telling God one thing that He must do for us. In as much as well, if you ask me, He has done everything. Just that, just that we are not paying attention. We don't want to help ourselves. But well, I believe today's episode will be even wonderful. As always. Good morning.
All right, there's been this controversy around what qualifies somebody to hold a public office in Nigeria. Academically, or one would say by education, should it be at just primary 6 or secondary school level? This matter was at the House of Representatives, but it saw the ugly side of it. So that will be our focus this morning on Standpoint later on this program this morning. But there are stories we are tracking, Sam, and then it will be necessary for us to give attention to it this morning. The Senate yesterday resolved to probe how the 30 trillion naira ways and means loans of the Central Bank of Nigeria was obtained and spent by the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari. Ways and means, of course, a loan facility through which the CBN finances the government's budget shortfalls. The Senate stated that the reckless spending of the overdraft collected from the CBN under Godwin Emefiele largely accounted for the food and security crisis the country was currently or is currently facing at the moment. So the Red Chamber resolved to set up a committee to investigate what the 30 trillion naira overdraft was spent on by the immediate past government, noting that the details of the spending were deliberately not made available to the National Assembly. This was from the Senate of Nigeria yesterday, sir.
It's actually annoying also and laughable at the same time because when senators, the Senate president talking about the former governor of Akwa Ibom State, at some point, how many days ago, talked about, the problems that we are facing now, being something that happened since 60 years ago, and which I said, that
was when it was in Rivers State, either on Sunday also.
He also, like I said, he's also part of, the problem. At some point also, he said that Emefiele messed up the economy and that they don't even know where they are going to, or what they are going to charge him for, or the particular issue right now. But, they are now coming up to say, okay, both him and Buhari, and the majority of the senators right now, they are also in the same party. They have been the APC members and all the rest. That happens to be the majority party for how many years now? That means all of them put together. They are the problems that we are having. Now, for this money to actually be taken from the CBN and spent, when they come out now to claim that they are not aware how it was done, for me, that's the laughable part of it. That's where it is actually funny. Then you want to ask yourself, okay, what are these senators even doing? What are they doing there? Just to make sure that any bill that will favor them, and this bill is one of the bills. So if that's where I'm saying, if they come out to say that they don't know about this bill, this money, how it left CBN and how it was spent, I think they will be lying. They will be lying, because I believe the money came to them, the bill came to them. Or now, is it that they have been passing bills without even going through, what the paper says or what the bill says? That means that's what have been happening. Meaning that they don't even know their primary duty. Maybe few of them.
No. You will not say that they don't know their primary. They know. They do know their primary.
Why are they not working with that?
So for us to admit that they do not know their primary duties would be under this discussion.
No.
Because before you get there, or the moment you arrived at the National Assembly, you must have been taken through the rudiments, the principles of administration down there.
Taking you through is one thing. You knowing what your job is another thing. How did they even get there? Who even takes them through? From the election proper, from the primaries. Let's start from the primaries. Majority of them don't even know what their primary duty there is. They don't know. Yes, they just want to go there, telling you when they get there, they are going to make life easier for you. They are going to represent you. They think, majority of them think whenever it comes, those in favor say aye, against say nay. That's what they think being a senator is. Now, you tell me that this money left CBN without you senators being aware. That means we should start all over, to start selecting leaders. Because if they don't know, the earlier they know that they're actually representing the people, the better for all of them.
Sam, the truth of the matter is that this is a big indictment on the President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. And as you've rightly stated, talking about Godswill Akpabio, it was obviously part of the previous administration under Buhari, being the Minister of Niger Delta Development Commission, where we know what happens there anyway. And then, do you know, Ahmed Lawan was even talking yesterday when I watched that video, while he was the Senate President at the time when this bill was sent to him. Before the 2023 general election, they immediately robustly assented on this bill without questioning. Do you know that even the CBN has an act when it comes to ways and means? It doesn't just come out that way. We are surprised. We are agitated that why would the presidency make this move? And that was towards the 2023 general election. If they are probing anybody, they should start with the previous Senate president of this country, Ahmed Lawan, who by God's grace is still a member of the House today. And then yesterday I was wondering, what was he trying to defend? Because he was the one that the letter was sent to, and then he assented on it. Through his colleagues. Even Dume also was there. Akpabio asked him that you were part of that. And Akpabio forgot also that it was the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari that sent that letter to Ahmed Lawan. So it's a big shame
on all of them.
It's a big shame on our senators, our leaders. Tomorrow now they will come down to the grassroots level, canvass for votes, give you bag of rice, peanuts. Nobody question how that money was spent. How was 30 billion naira spent? And Lawan yesterday, while he was talking, say it was not actually 30 trillion naira. That's 22.7 and all of those things. So you are aware.
That means he knows the money.
You are aware.
He knows
so they should question
about the money.
They should probe one thing about our
Who
leaders.
will probe each other?
Whenever they come
up,
setting up investigative panels and committee, at the end of the day, it stopped at the media trial. Nobody gets to know what happens afterwards. Please, if it is possible, these men should be probed. If they are indicted, the law should take its course. It's as simple as that, so that it will serve as a deterrent to others. But our system, Nigeria, Sam.
Unfortunately, the ad hoc committee that will be constituted today, Wednesday. The ad hoc, where would they be coming from? Who are the ones that will, select these members? They are not going to be neutral people. No. They are going to still be men. But the ones that even they are loyal. They are going to select the ones that are loyal.
I'm surprised.
At the end of the day, nothing like probe. You see this money? It's gone. Unfortunately, the money is gone and can't come back. They are not even going to do anything to it.
No presentation after it was assigned. No presentation that this is how the money is being spent. This is where the money will be going to. Nobody did that at all. The only thing was that they assented on it. They signed it, and then the loan was given to the federal government. What did they use the money for?
That's a big question. Well, they used the money on themselves. because we know how largely our senators, live their lives.
If a senator could come up to say that we don't want this level of vehicle, that they need SUV,
this one is,
a special utility vehicle for certain assignments.
That means the money is there. They have spent the money. What they are doing now is to just play with our intelligence, and that's the annoying part of it. I said it's funny, laughable, and it's annoying. Now it's annoying because when you do all these things and you think you're leading people that don't have sense, that's where the annoying part comes in. We know all these things. Like, we have asked so many questions right now. Just imagine inviting 3 of these senators now to this studio, this 96.5 FM. You see them, running around. They won't have anything to say. This money has been spent, and looking at the amount of money, $2.4 billion forex transaction out of the $7 billion obligation made for that purpose, as well as the other intervention programs. The money has been siphoned.
Of course,
$7 billion. That's not a little amount of money. Now, 30 trillion. Someone is saying it's not 30, it's 20 something. That means you know about the money. They should stop playing with our intelligence. They should stop joking with us. And the earlier they actually understand that Nigerians are even wiser than them, in as much as we have actually, somehow allowed them to, act and do whatever they like. The earlier for they're laughable, because coming out now to, do as if they don't know about the money, and they're talking about Emefiele and Buhari, the people they also worked with for 8 years. That's laughable part of it.
Gospel Akpabio that was saying that the government doesn't know where to approve Emefiele from. He was a pivotal player in the President Buhari's administration, where he served in a very, very critical ministry, talking about Niger Delta. Well, let's not look into that. There are other issues to handle this morning. Before we bring in our guest, Sam, the Nigerian Customs Service says it is working to distribute some seized food items nationwide as the biting food crisis continues in the country. According to the National Public Relations Officer, Abdullahi Maiwada, the food items will be distributed after they are certified fit for human consumption. Of course, the statement came out yesterday. That's the situation of things, talking about seized items. Nobody knows how many years these items have been with them.
Yeah.
And also, he still questions the activities and operations of the Nigeria Custom Service. That's just that, sir.
Definitely. And also, this morning, funny issues to actually talk about. Now, why did they seize the goose? That's the first question now. Why was this goose seized?
And never released.
Now, if they were seized because they were fake, why not destroy them now? Because there's no need distributing it to the people. But if they were seized, maybe because the people didn't follow due process when importing these goods, there's no need sharing these goods to Nigerians. Whatever penalty, whatever punishment the importers or the potential importers will face, give them their penalties. Let them face the penalty. Give them back their goods. Now you want to give these goods to the people. If you certify them
using in parentheses the present condition.
Because of the present condition. This is a no-no as far as I'm concerned. Not because I don't need food, not because I'm wealthy, not because I'm even rich, but because it is actually not acceptable. Now, the owners of these goods they wanted to import these goods to Nigeria. Like I ask again, what is the problem? Why were these goods seized? If it is because they were fake, maybe expired, destroy them. But if it's because the guys that wanted to bring these goods into Nigeria failed to follow due process, now punish them, give them back their goods. Now now they said at some point I read and they said they are going to make sure that the goods will get to the people. They are going to use very good means just to make sure that the poor, the ones that are suffering more than others, will get the goods. No, that's not what we want. Nigerians want the country to start working, the leaders to start implementing things that will help them. How long will you continue to give us fish? Palliatives at some point. Did the palliative even save? The other day we talked about the palliatives. Even the one that was given to states. Nothing. We are yet to see the positive effect. We kept in fact, it escalated. It even made people so confused. Some people died even when they went to collect these 2 cups of rice. So at this point
my brother, I will not shy away from this truth. Yes, two cups of rice. I agree with you. I saw it. I witnessed it.
And couldn't
even in Umaya, I witnessed that.
Some when they got there, they said, wait, sit down. We are going to share. At the end of the day, some didn't get. When they were patiently waiting, like
and two cups of beans also.
So at this point, no, don't share these things to Nigerians. Make sure that things will start. People are crying. The fuel subsidy removal, since there was no plan, what else are we doing about that? And other areas, so that things will start working. Insecurity, that's actually the biggest issue now. This is farming period. This is February. February, how many days now? February, we will be entering March. So many farmers are ready. But because of things that are not on ground, you keep sharing things. Custom will share their own. No, small time they'll start sharing cars now, the ones that they have seized, the ones that they do auction at the end of the day. See, we need to start being very serious. This is annoying also.
Right, certainly we need to start being serious in this country. As I did say before now, that given the situation around what qualifies a public office holder in our country at this point in time.
Yeah.
Remember, it has its constitutional position on it, but there has been the controversy around the level of education qualification that could enable someone occupy a public office. So today focus on standpoint is the controversy around educational qualification for elective offices in Nigeria. This is as a result of a bill seeking to amend the 1999 Constitution to change the educational qualification for elections into certain political offices was last week stepped down by the House of Representatives. Of course, leading the discussion on the bill, the Deputy Whip, Honorable Omowunmi Onanuga, said the bill would raise the education qualifications to contest elections in Nigeria to the minimum of a university degree and its equivalent. She explained that state legislators are important for making laws to govern their states in the interest of the people. The office of the governor is the highest political office in the state, and federal legislators are important for making laws in the interest of the nation, while the office of the president is the highest political office in the land. That was where she started comparing that if a bank manager could present his university degree up to the point of presenting the NYSC certificate, what's wrong for our leaders or with our leaders to present their own degree at that equivalent? Opposing the bill, the minority whip of the House, Aliyu Madaki, NNPP Kano, said the leadership quality and ability of a political office holder is not determined by his or her level of education, but commitment to service. To discuss this issue with us this morning on Standpoint is a public affairs analyst, Eric Ikwagu. A very good morning to you, sir, and welcome to the program.
Thank you, Ben. Thanks for having me.
How have you been?
I'm very well, thank you.
All right, you just listened to led to the discussion this morning, talking about what qualifies a public office holder, given the position we have found ourselves as a country, as the people in Nigeria at the moment, that we need people who know their responsibilities, who should understand what a commitment to service is all about, and not just that, but using principles in carrying out administration. The drama at the House of Representatives, what do you make of it, Eric?
Well, I think that bill belongs to the dustbin, and rightly so. They have trashed it where it rightly belongs.
Why do you say so?
Why did I say that? I think that bill was self-serving. It was seeking to cure the symptom rather than the cause. Now, when you talk about education, I think emphasis should leave so much reliance on paper qualification to go into the real qualification. Now, it is only in this climb that people so much rely on paper qualification without even having to defend the qualification. Now, the standards have fallen. Before now, it used to be standard seat in the days of my parents, okay? And somebody who obtained the standard seats was able to teach in schools. He was able to write letters. But today, you will agree with me that you will find graduates with master's degree who could hardly communicate or even defend their discipline. So I think it has to do with the curriculum we run, there is need to rejig the educational system.
Eric, is this not just an assumption that you can find a master's degree holder with that different?
It's not an assumption. I am a research fellow. We have carried various research. I don't want to name names here, but we have carried various research, and there is a huge percentage out there of graduates who could. Let me tell you this. In my service year, some corpus were posted to Federal Government Girls College, Calabar. And the principal of that school then put them to test. And she returned 5 of them out of the 6 she asked.
Hello, Henry.
They said the rest. So it is disturbing.
Okay.
And if it happened then and the quality has been dropping till now, then it is worrisome. Graduates could no longer defend their discipline. So it goes to the root of the matter. The quality of education. So instead of waste time propounding all manners of bill to answer somebody who has sponsored a bill, I think getting to the root cause of the problem should suffice. We should rejig and rejuvenate this fallen standard. It is worrisome. And then introduce some courses or subjects, as it were, that will have to reattune the minds of the people. Our mentality, our mindset is what is costly. It is so much that the standard has been thrown to the dust, integrity has been thrown to the dust, and everybody deserves what he gets from the system. Now, another thing is the amount, the cost of running for office is too high. So it exposes only people who make money from all manners of all corners. You know, it becomes an all-commerce affair once you have a deep pocket without having the mind without having the commitment to service. You go there to recoup. So when you spend so much money running your election, you get to the house, all what you go there to do or get to the office, all what you go there to do is to recoup. So there are things to touch on rather than trying to dish the 1999 Constitution as a regards to certificate that qualifies one to run for office. I think it has to do with orientation. We need a mindset here that will open up, aspirants to seeking to serve the people. All right, apart from qualification, which I don't see any. Yes, education is good.
But are you saying that education is not fundamental in any facet of administration, leadership position, and what have you?
I am more interested in quality than paper. Now, what the House of Reps member was proposing is to increase, because he has agreed or she has agreed that the standard has fallen. That's why she wants it to get to first degree. And I see no reason why it should be, because over time, we've seen Shehu Shagari had only, he went to a college, that was his highest degree, and he didn't perform badly. Okay, so what's important is the mindset. Ronald Reagan in America didn't have all the degrees in this world. I think emphasis should be on service, because as an office holder, you are exposed to having all kinds of people who are specialized in a particular field. Just have the mindset. Because the book stops on your table. So when you have the right mindset, Nigeria has been run by people with all manners from one degree to the other. And where are we today? We've not changed anything. So, but when you bring somebody who has the right mindset to get things done, we can start changing the narrative. The story will start changing. So the problem should have been work on the quality of education, changing our curriculum, bringing a kind of course, entrepreneurship education, citizenship education, leadership education, introduce it as early as in primary schools, so that these people will graduate to tomorrow becoming leaders, and this is embedded in them. The urgency to turn things around rather than this our military mindset. In my era, we were used to military people. It was all military. So we growing up, how was the military mindset? So we have to change that mindset, a reorientation about the military mindset, where somebody who is in office feels he lost over every other person, whereas it's supposed to be service.
All right,
You're supposed to be servant, people's servant, and not the other way around. So when we had that orientation, paper qualification shouldn't matter. Somebody who has a first degree, who has an O level, or who has a first living school certificate, can engage an expert in economics to help hammer these things out. They're still doing it. Even with all your education, you still engage somebody who is an expert in a particular discipline to help you hammer the rough edges. So if you do not have the mindset to get things right, no matter the qualification you have, it will not yield to anything positive for the people. That's my take.
All right, we are talking about at this point, since you've brought it up, quality of education that should serve in this capacity. And then often we've seen that both at the subnational level and at national government, that priorities are not given to education. It's embedded in the constitution, but people don't give it, our leaders do not give it acute attention. The budget for education in most states, you don't see it to be up to a standard. Don't you think if this should not be considered, it will keep affecting the quality of education that we have in Nigeria?
You know, the people, we are a function of our leaders. It is the people who determine who governs them, no matter how you look at it. Now, over time, because of the seeming ignorance in the system, the ruling class takes advantage of this ignorance to perpetrate all manners of things they want to do against the people. Education is basic. It exposes you to understanding your rights. It exposes you to challenging the ills in the system. Now, what you see is they rather keep people ignorant to be able to take every decision, to be able to give them that they believe that is all what governance should be. Now, when they elevate from the pedestal to something higher, that is when you and I can engage and talk about the percentage from the subnational to the national. These guys vote to education from their budgetary allocation. It is meager. It is not even up to what it should be. The last thing, if I could domesticate this in Abia, we got worried that so much was given to very unnecessary things as against very necessary things. Human capital development, which education is part of it, is the way to go. Okay, but the government will rather, I'm talking about Abia now because I did a rundown analysis of their last budget and I got worried. Okay, I was worried because even in small and medium scale, nothing was done on that aspect. In education was below the approved percentage, and it is worrisome. But because of the level of ignorance, people clap and jeer at things that are even anti-people. Now, when you are held down by ignorance, you clap for things that are even anti-you, anti-progress. So because the system, the ruling class understand this, they go on perpetuating this at over and over. But when you have a whole lot of people educated, enlightened, we can now be discussing matters, having conversation based on what is needed to be done, and not when you do a kilometer road, okay, as against equipping somebody to transform from this vicious circle of poverty. And that person will clap for the road because they'll so much pad these roads. Yes, we need roads, but then you have to equip human capital. We need to start earning. People need to move away from this vicious circle to be able to even think right. A hungry man doesn't think right. What he's thinking is the next meal. So what I'm saying is, when people are exposed, when people are educated, when people are enlightened, not this kind of education we run in Nigeria. No, these are theoretical. I'm talking about practical education, where people are really equipped. You have that manpower to be able to think for yourself, to be able to act for yourself, to be able to speak your mind without being amboozled by any opposing force. So if we do that, you will not find out that it will be difficult to give somebody 1,000 naira during the election to go. Meanwhile, the political class, all their kids are in abroad studying. They find somebody who cannot fit. You give him 1 naira to go and cost him to go and burn these offices, to go and do this, because they need people to belong in that particular level. That is why they make sure. And it's not about party. It is like a general consensus among them.
Yeah.
There was this agitation for good governance in this 2023 election. And most of these guys got elected into the National and the House of Reps. And what is their impact? I had expected to see, okay, I'm not going to mention any party, but I expected to see this party that campaigned on so much good governance and challenging the status quo to walk out when they give you this million naira worth of vehicles, to reject them and say, no. There's this Kaduna man I've been following. He was an Okada man, voted under a particular platform from Kano State. I expected the man to reject that and say, no, I won't take this 240 million naira vehicle when people are suffering. I won't take these bogus allowances when people are suffering. But you find out that when they get to that class, it becomes a gang up against the ordinary people. You see, we need orientation in this country. We need that education. It might be informal, it might be formal, but we need that orientation where people could sit back and say, we've been used so much by this political class. All what we have in Nigeria are platforms people seek election. That is all. There is no politics of ideology. That is why today I questioned the House of Reps and I said, what have you done differently? I have not seen you stand up to say, enough, Mr. President. But rather you go to the social media, you go to media to even clap and celebrate the so-called president. You're supposed to oppose. A work of a legislator is oversight function. Oversight what the executive is doing. But if it is, you're not a rubber stamp, and you came on the platform of change, radical change, challenging the status quo, then it's troubling. Nigeria is in deep wahala, if I should use that. We're in deep wahala. Because at every time you see people campaign for election, you see people, being confused and vote them in. At the end of the day, they join the ruling class and against the ordinary people. There's so much problem in the land. That's why I say education, enlightenment is key. Not just paper qualification. We have a whole lot of graduates who believed that there was going to be change, even if they didn't get what they wanted.
All right.
But they had a chunk now in the National Assembly that said, no, hey, watch it. We are working out from this. They present you with 240 million naira vehicle. You work out and say, we're not going to take it. Little by little, people start getting into the flow. Now, let me say this. There are lots and lots of graduates that are being churned out every year, and these people belong to different constituencies. They belong to different senatorial zones.
Is it that is it that their representatives do not know that these persons are coming out from schools yearly?
Because people are not enlightened. They are not aware of their right to recall. If they initiate one recall process, these guys will sit up. Now, when you want to put all the work on the table of the president or the executive, you will look at what is happening in the United States House of Assembly. Governor is having a field day. You wake up in the morning, even before he was inaugurated as governor, he's already giving Port Harcourt Road to Julius Berger, and nobody's challenging him. He sat down and made sure somebody was made a speaker because of his interest, and nobody has stood up to ask what is happening. What about the oversight function? What is happening on that front? Because of the level of enlightenment, these are graduates with paper degrees with nothing in the sport. Sorry to use that word.
When you say graduates, okay.
It translates to the quality of governance we have.
Okay.
Now you do things. I can remember when there was a meltdown, economic meltdown. That Obama was president in America then. He now knew that people needed jobs. He unleashed policies that created jobs. They gave jobs, menial jobs, at least to reflect the economy. Today, other states for once needs job, food. People are hungry. You are sacking people. Nobody's talking. You have not increased salary. It's what they call the wage award. You have not done that. People are placed where they are, and you expect them to clap. When you say these things are not right, you attack an opposition. And let me tell you, opposition is a very veritable tool in a democracy. But they have so much ability to look like evil. If you have dissenting voices telling you you're not getting it right, you will assume so much power. That is that military mentality I'm talking about, where a governor believes he runs the show, he has the space.
All right,
nobody
Eric.
should challenge him. So I'm saying, when our people start waking up to the realities, we don't need to change the constitution. Rather, we'll start implementing. Because I think the 19th constitution is all encompassing. But our people, we do not read. So these guys take advantage of that, our ignorance, to run the show.
All right, Erica, I will come back to you. Talking about people who come out from universities yearly, they live around constituencies that have representatives at the national level and sub-national level. Of course, even at the state level, you have governors who should understand that, okay, should I make available employment opportunities for these persons who are coming out from the universities? We'll get to find out. And also, you talked about orientation and reorientation. These are leaders. These are governors. We'll find out from you also before we let you go this morning where the orientation and reorientation should start from. But for a member of the House of Representatives to come up in attacking a bill, given the contemporary times, of course, there's no how you eliminate education completely from anything, to say that it is not necessary. It's all about commitment to service. Is it not a slap to a nation like Nigeria?
It is not. Seriously, it is not. Because in developed democracies, educational qualification is still reduced to the barest minimum. So that any person who is thinking, just like in the jury system, in the judiciary, in America runs the jury system, where people are selected, people of your peers are selected within the location the crime happened. And they listen to cases and they decide. All what the judges do is to guide you. All right? Now, I think if you extrapolate that to this qualification thing in Nigeria, you feel that it needs to be right thinking. It just needs to be morally conscious of what is right. Okay? Before you will talk about governance, you must understand what you're expected to do in office first and foremost before talking about qualification. Now, the comparison with the banks is out of place here because the banks are profit oriented. They do anything to make money.
Not only the banks, you find it in other establishments and entities.
Now, the government is not solely for making profits. Rather, most of social safety net for the citizens before any other thing. The government looks out for the poor, the rich, the weak, the strong. So if you now benchmark it to be a particular standard of education, whereby somebody who is not given an opportunity to go to that school has the right morals, the right understanding of leadership, you not divide the person. Now the basic is first living certificate, at least you could be able to read.
Yeah, according to the Constitution, what the Constitution has, yeah.
Yes, that's what is currently running. So I don't think they need to take it now.
All right, talking about
it's not that. I respected that lady who sponsored that bill or who tried to sponsor that bill to talk about how to rejig the economy. We are sitting on a keg of gunpowder.
All right, Derek.
The clouds are gathering. People are busy just talking about things that are not real. People are busy, discussing things that are not. I had wished to sponsor a bill that will bring emergency relief. I'm thinking about opening the storehouse, wherever it is, open the border, bring in food. A hungry man cannot be contained when it will start.
All right.
Now that Nigerians have been pushed to the wall, is it not proper for that House of Assembly member who is sponsoring a bill to sponsor and to declare an emergency on food security?
All right.
People are hungry.
All right.
And you're talking about elevating something from first degree to from first school level certificate to first degree.
All right.
I think these guys they are so much relaxed there. They don't even understand why they are there. That's why they believe you go there and sponsor any kind of thing. Rather, they should be keeping in touch with their constituency. They should all have a constituency office. Ask me how many of them have a constituency office in their place.
All right. That takes me down to the next question, Eric. Before we let you go in 1 minute. Talking about orientation and reorientation, where should it start? Because I understand that the people vote in their leaders at the end of the day.
Well, we have a national orientation agency that is not working. There are TSOs, there are CLOs, there are non-governmental organizations. I should take up this. The radio, as you are, the media, should help enlighten people. But what I find out, even the private medias, apart from few, they tend to even become an appendage of the government in power. They now lack that grit to speak truth to power. It is happening in our other state stations. I know a few who decide to stand and say, okay, let's put the things right. Most radio stations will not even give you the opportunity to, bring an opposing opinion to what is happening. So we have to disassociate ourselves from this winner takes all syndrome. and stand the ground. The mass media, the social media, the all manners of non-governmental agencies, not leaving it to government, because the National Orientation Agency or the State Orientation Agency are appendages of state government and national and federal government. They cannot do proper orientation. They don't even want people to see. Poverty is a political tool. Keep them poor, win all your elections. Let them grapple for a plate of food while you win your election. It is the fact of the matter. It is being used in Nigeria today, tomorrow, and it's continue using it till everybody gets on board and enlighten people. Enlightened education is different from enlightenment. You need to be enlightened on your rights. Going to school alone and acquiring a paper degree without having understanding of even to defend the cause you read is already troubling. But adding ignorance to it, it's much more troubling.
All right,
so we need enlightenment, we need to educate the people, everybody, all hands should be on deck to get this monster in the room.
All right.
Just out.
We have been speaking this morning with a public affairs analyst, Eric Ikwagu. Thank you so much for your submission on this issue this morning.
Thank you for having me. All
right, let us continue the conversation down here. 09160,000 965 09160 333 965. Given what we are discussing this morning, what do you make of it? What do you suggest? What's the way forward? Keep the calls coming at this point. 09160,000 965 09160 333 965. A very good morning to you and welcome to the program. All right, we lost that call. Sam, it baffles me that a member of the House of Representatives. Let me take this call. Kindly turn down your radio set. Good morning.
Good morning.
You're welcome, sir.
Good morning, Eric.
You're welcome. Good morning.
My name is Joseph Ichindi.
All right.
I am calling from Malawi. I'm Ankara precisely. Honestly, Honorable Eric really did justice to the issue raised this morning. It is unfortunate that we don't have responsible political leaders at the helm of our affairs. They only discuss their personal interests. Yes, education is good, and the certificate is good, but at the level we are today in Nigeria, certificate is no longer our problem. Our problem is pain of conscience. Our problem is men of mental capacity. Our problem is men that have a good mindset towards governance. Anything about certificates now, I don't think there's really need to talk of certificates, rather a development. Okay, look at what happened at the National Assembly. They were given a vehicle, more than 160 million naira, 1%, and none of them protected, and none of them advised the federal government to use that money to ensure that they develop their various constituency. But they accepted that vehicle to be driving the vehicle in a way that is dilapidated, in a community whereby people are starving and struggling to eat. It's quite unfortunate.
All right.
Concerning to education that Honorable Ikwabu mentioned this morning, the budget of the state with regards to education. Yes, this is one of the reasons we have been creating since the creation
right, please,
of...
run off your point. Your time is up already. All right, thank you for understanding. Sam, let's get back to our own area. We are still taking your calls anyway. 09160,000 965 09160 333 965. Get across to us.
Yeah.
Let's have your comment.
He really said a lot, and there is just maybe if I thought there is anything to add, it will just be few. Like the last caller said, our biggest problem now is not even paper. Yeah.
Okay, you say it's not even paper.
It's not
Good morning, you're welcome.
Good morning.
You're welcome, sir.
Okay, so welcome.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go on.
Good morning, you're welcome. Yes, good morning, you're welcome.
Hello, can you hear me?
Don Casey, go on.
Okay. Don Casey, I from
all right.
I quite agree with the guest. The area of not all about their qualification. You know, the level of
education matters. In terms of you, what you have or what you come up with, it's not about the ideas. Number one. Two, again, what I think in the other side of introducing leadership from the primary down to secondary school, even though the person cannot be able to extend education to that level of the so I'll find out the thing. I think when you are able to understand leadership, what is all about, the primary that's from school, it will get nowhere to go. Then again, I know that I watched that yesterday. I was watching it yesterday. And I realized that when it has to do with something I was interested to people who was interested on, you know that they were trashy. So the issue of political policy now, they're not a second to first of all, they are to come down. Anything that we go a long way to survey the conditions and matter.
All right.
That Nigeria is trying not to come up with it. So our problem is not all about education. It's about the person. That those who are there, they're not. So when they now look at I find the way of giving them.
All right, Don Kesiga, run of your point. Run of your point.
That's what we That's what we're talking about. When you have a manifesto and you're really going to that place, that's them what you have.
All right, your time is up already. All right, thank you so much. We appreciate your contribution. A very good morning to you and welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Ben.
You're welcome. Good morning.
Thank you, sir. Well, first of all, I have been trying to know where your test is coming from.
Please, your name and location, please.
Mr. Chijoke is my name.
All right, Chijoke, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir. I have been struggling just to know where your guest is coming from. Me, you vetted him just for an interview and to analyze some issues concerning Nigeria issue. I think I'm right. But I've been following him and I understand that he's just trying to, go another way. You try to analyze this and you are attacking the government about it. I don't know why you always talk about our state. But in 1999, I've been following you. Two of us came from the same local government. You have never talked against what the past government did to Adia State. You have never come openly and say anything because you people are there enjoying. And now, since Alessandro took over the government in Adia State, you keep on attacking me. I am not saying that you should not criticize, but why is it that in the past administration for 24 years you never say anything? Even what happened in the Super Bowl, where we also came from, you will never condemn what we say.
You are from the same local government with him?
Yes.
Okay.
And now the present government is giving us results. They are seeing results. We are not seeing that the electorate is excellent. I will be the person to say it. But now we are seeing the results. Besides, they cannot say what it is. The present government is winning 4 or 5 months. And I celebrate. We're not saying that all is well. But this government, at least we need to give them time. Whether you are the BDP or APC or Labour, I am not interested. What we are talking about, let us see results. We are seeing the results. So I think the guests should come down and support what we are seeing in Adia State. At least let us see ourselves as servants of Adia State.
All right.
Not our interest and interest. Let's see. Is doing well. We should commend him. That's my own contribution. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. We appreciate your contribution. Over to you, Sam, before we leave the studio.
Yeah, well, it's just for us to pay attention to, the more critical things. Like he said, going to school and to actually become a graduate or acquire a university degree is not a problem. It's a wonderful one. But if actually that is our problem, that means by now we shouldn't even be talking about having issues, because our politicians, all of them, if they start naming if they start bringing out their certificates, you even get tired. Some of them will even go as far as going outside there to get the face certificate, whether fake or original. Which of our politicians now doesn't have that qualification as it has to do with university degrees? They have it, but have they done anything to show that? China, in as much as we don't talk about them, economy-wise, they are doing very, very well. how many of them pay attention to the certificate we pay? Someone left Nigeria. They couldn't employ him because he didn't go to school to study engineering. But he knows the job. Someone from China came, more like an expatriate in that company, saw how good this guy was, and he wasn't given the opportunity. When he was leaving, he told the guy, do you want to move with me? I'm going back to China. We need someone like you there. He went there, became one of the biggest or maybe highest, employers as far as that employees. As far as that company is concerned. When he came back here to Nigeria, the former company was like, okay, we can now employ you. He was like, no. What I've gotten over there, you guys can't even give me double of it. Here, we pay attention to paper qualification. Like I said, it's not a bad thing, but we have wonderful people that knows what leadership is all about. They know. See, some even didn't go to universities, but they enrolled themselves in leadership trainings. How many of our leaders knows that the best leadership style is servant leadership style? Maybe they have the former governor of Abia State had a PhD. He's a PhD holder. Did that help us? Leadership-wise, did that help us? The answer is no. I'm from Abia State. I need to be bold about that. It's not about PhD. It's not about the certificate you have. It's about what you know concerning leadership. When you go in there, the people will be happy to say that, yes, this man or this woman really changed things. We don't care about what you have in your this thing. And just like from homes, the ones you see as, coming outside to disgrace themselves as couple, they are well educated. But you see those poor ones, those ones that didn't go to school, you see them coming out, respecting themselves in public, the one you call illiterate, and all the rest. Check and balance. Our problem is not how many certificates we have.
All right.
Just like in this industry. How many of us that studied mass comm?
You want to divulge people's interests?
How many of the people doing better, doing well in this industry?
All right,
this media industry,
let's leave
how
it
many
at
of them
that.
studied mass communication?
Our time is up anyway.
It's about how ready you being determined and what you know about the job that you want to do.
All right, we sincerely apologize to you that we couldn't take your calls. We'll do that tomorrow. Incorruptible Sam, thank you so much for your time on Standpoint this morning.
Thank you.
All
Nigeria is disturbing somebody. Somebody will not get corrupt one day with too much wahala in Nigeria.
No, you never can get corrupt, please.
You people should pray for me.
We'll keep praying.
The heat is too much.
The Incorruptible Sam, thank you once again. We earlier spoke with the public affairs analyst Eric Ikwago on the program. Tomorrow, of course, Standpoint will make a return rather. My name is Moses Ben. The Newslight is up next at 10 o'clock. Thereafter, we'll bring you the program The People and the Law. Good morning.